Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott, and today we'll do another little bit on a series of the Minuteman, and I want to talk about gear. But before I go into gear, I kind of want to give a little bit of a, we'll call it a gear primer, or for those in the US, a gear primer. And I want to talk about some of my thoughts and feelings about gear and how it applies to being a Minuteman. And I want to start off by saying that there are those of us that are trying to homestead, trying to farm, trying to do our own food production, trying to be self-sufficient or self-sustaining in some way or another. And that takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of money. And you have to really kind of sit down and decide what's important. Yeah, if I was living in some apartment somewhere, where I wasn't working my land, I wasn't buying fruit trees and shrubs and grass seed and plants and fertilizer and have a little bit higher water bill, yeah, I might be able to buy that really expensive AR-15, or I may be able to buy that high-speed chest carrier with armor plate and all that stuff. But the reality is I don't have the time, and I don't have the inclination, and I'm busy doing other stuff. And right now I'm walking out on my cleared property, and it looks like some of my winter rye that I planted a couple weeks ago is finally starting to come up, and that's really good. I'm going to turn the camera around and just kind of let you see real quick. You can see the little green thingies. That's my winter rye coming up. And that's important to help hold this topsoil, what little I have. But that's some of the things. I had to go buy the seed, and I had to take the time, I had to plant it. Yeah, I had somebody fell these trees, but I had to come back through and kind of smooth this out a little bit. So when I talk about being a Minuteman in my community, it may be a little bit different than what being a Minuteman is in your community. And let's not confuse being a Minuteman versus being in a militia. I think those are two different things. They have somewhat similar concepts. But for me, I'm more of a Minuteman, where I will come to my neighbor's need when he calls, if he calls, and be there as soon as I can. And the idea behind that is, if I am willing to do that, then I should be prepared to help him in any way possible. That may mean bringing my tractor. That may mean, bringing a gun. It may mean a lot of things. But, we try to balance all of this with everything I do. And so, for me, being a Minuteman is having enough of the right stuff, or the right kind of stuff, and not necessarily the best stuff, because that's not a priority in my life. My priority is not to chase bad guys all day every day. If I did, I'd concede buying all that high-speed stuff. But this may be a once a year, twice a year thing, even once or twice a month. But I don't need to have the best. And so in creating this Minuteman series, I'm talking about the people like me who are mainly investing our time and energies in the homesteading, prepping, farming type scenario where we're trying to make a go of our land. And as a secondary, tertiary, even a quaternary function, that we will defend our property and also help defend our neighbors. So when I go through my gear list, a lot of the stuff I have will be multifunctional. For example, my Minuteman bag is really going to be the same as my Get Home bag, which is a part of my bob. In other words, I don't have 2 or 3 separate bags and of each one having the same stuff in a different bag. A couple reasons. One, I can't afford it. And two, if you have all these separate bags, I don't have the time to keep up with all of them. Where if I have stuff in one bag, I have one bag that goes with me almost everywhere I go. I'm in it almost every day. And so I'm constantly checking and looking at my stuff to make sure it is in the best shape I can have it in. So really what I want to say is as I go through this series, you're not going to see the best, highest speed, lowest drag, most expensive stuff. You're going to see average stuff. You may see a lot of military surplus. You may see some, what some people might say, lower quality or vastly inferior stuff. And you'll see some nice stuff. I mean, I've been a gun owner for over 55 years. And I have bought, sold, and traded. So sometimes the trades are good, sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes I get a deal, sometimes I don't. But through the years, same thing with knives and same thing with some of my other gear. And you'll have to excuse me for looking down, but I am looking at my grass and grateful that it is starting to come up. I may have to put some more out, but I'm grateful for it. And so really what this is geared for is for those of us that have a lot of investment in other things. Like I may spend over $1,000 just in trees, shrubs, and plants this year alone. That's not including my time to put it in. So I'm just saying, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's $1,000 for that, or I can buy a maybe a better rifle for $1,000, but I need the plants, or I need gasoline, or I need diesel fuel, or I need a part for my tractor. So for this series, when I start talking about gear, it may not be top flight stuff. It may not be the fastest, speediest, but I think it'll be enough for me to help serve both my family and my community around here. I think most of us are probably in a similar boat. And I think together, we'll be able to accomplish what we set out to do. And so anyhow, that's a little bit of a primer. So if you're one of these guys that's looking for the highest, the greatest, the meanest, the baddest, you may not find it in this series. However, if you're looking for a down-to-earth approach, somewhat economical, some stuff just costs money, and even the cheapest isn't cheap, but I've been doing a lot of this stuff for a long time, and I've had the best, I've had the worst, I've had the middle. And so really, it's just what you need. And please understand that if you have the best, the greatest, and the most wonderful, then That's more power to you. I'm glad you do. I don't anymore. But what I do have, I like. And so, but bear with me, starting probably this upcoming week, I'll start my series on Minuteman gear. And always, I'm hoping you all are getting something out of this. I really do. I try to give you good content. I try to be honest with everybody. Hopefully, if you see what you like, you'll subscribe. Please feel free to share and comment if you have that inclination. I do this. I don't monetize this, or at least I haven't yet. I don't think I will. That way, I keep some of the YouTube people off my back in case I do stray into one of their fuzzy gray areas. But yeah, I do this for free, and I do this to put information out. I'm trying to impart some of my knowledge, some of the wisdom I've gained over the 60 plus years I've been alive, and to help people figure things out and just show you what I'm doing. So more to follow. Everybody stay safe and stay secure.